I've been spending a lot of time in airports lately, flying from city to city and running from gate to gate. And when I arrive at my destination, there are often groups of people in the arrivals hall with balloons and flowers and sometimes signs. And they cry and hug their person when they come off the plane and land in their arms. And in that moment, I feel incredibly touched by the raw human emotion I see. But I also feel incredibly lonely. As you're listening here today, you might be with someone you love. You might be with a friend, a family member, a lover. You might be in a room with 1,000 other people. And yet you might be asking yourself the same question I am. Why do I feel so lonely? If you feel this way, you're not alone. Millions of people all around the world feel exactly the same way you do. But with 8 billion people on this planet, almost all of whom are reachable by the cell phones we carry around with us every single day, how could we ever feel lonely? I'm going to dispel a myth. You do not have to be alone to feel lonely. Loneliness is a subjective feeling. It's not an objective reality. It might last only a moment, like the way I feel when I land in an airport. But some of you are walking around this world feeling like no one really sees you, like no one really knows you. I recently came across a video of a young American woman who broke down into tears and asserted she was dying of something she called touch starvation. She hadn't been hugged in 5 years. She was craving touch and close contact, the type of connection we crave as humans from the moment we're born. She wanted answers. How, she asked, is everyone coping? More than 25,000 people commented. Many of them were touch-starved too. And they told stories of working from home, delaying marriage, and living alone, and finding it hard to navigate the endless merry-go-round of online dating. They had the same question as the woman in the video. How do we meet this very basic human need? Unfortunately, the answer is not simple. As we walk through our worlds, most must live in touch deserts. Strangers can't be touched at all. Acquaintances can shake hands. Close friends may be a hug. The architecture of our daily lives is absolutely devoid of the very thing young children need to survive: contact comfort. Do you want to know why your child follows you to the bathroom and hangs on your leg? Do you want to know why your partner asks you to have sex each night? Do you want to know why the woman was crying in the video? Because they're normal humans and they crave touch. They too walk around in a touchless world for most of their days. But it's not only touch we're starving for. We're starving for deep human connection. We're starving for love and the sense that we really belong. So how do we cope? The average person now touches their phone more than 2,500 times per day and spends an average of 7 hours each day on the internet. And it's no surprise, we can meet almost every social and intellectual need online. But when we do so, we have to ask ourselves, what are we trading? Every day, we're taking tiny hits of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, through social media and text messages. But what we really need are huge shots of oxytocin that we might get from a hug or a touch from another person. And it's a trade that leaves us wanting. And it's also led to a crisis of loneliness. Loneliness is now recognized as a significant threat to public health. Even before the pandemic, about half of U.S. adults were experiencing loneliness. However, recently, it's gotten worse. The U.S. Surgeon General has even declared a public health crisis of loneliness, isolation, and a lack of connection. And if it continues without intervention, we face not only significant declines to physical and mental health and well-being, but also threats to productivity, community engagement, and long-term economic growth. Crowds of people and hectic urban living are not solutions. Studies here in India show that urbanization does not leave people feeling full and supported. Instead, it has the opposite effect. It leaves them feeling lonely, even after they've just spent time with other people. It's like there's water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. People over the age of 45, like me, are most vulnerable to the effects of loneliness. In this age group, loneliness and isolation are associated with significant cognitive declines and even mortality. In fact, studies show that a lack of connection is as bad for your health as being an alcoholic or smoking 15 cigarettes per day. So what can we do about it? A friend of mine recently told me about a time when she was standing in a room full of people, but she still felt incredibly alone. She described it so beautifully. She said she felt like she was standing outside a snow globe, watching the happy people inside. But she couldn't touch them, and they couldn't touch her. She was happy for them. She was sad for herself. Kind of like the way I feel when I land in an airport. But those happy people are not the only people I see when I'm in an airport or walking down the street. Many of the people I see are also standing outside the snow globe. They look weary. They look lonely. They're just like you, and they're just like me. The solution is to see that loneliness isn't just something you feel. It's become a universal human condition. Even if everyone's lives look full and happy from the outside, they're not. What we need to do is we need to make an intentional decision to trade the dopamine for the oxytocin. I'll give you 2 quick tips on how to do this. First, do a social media detox. One study showed that those who reduced their social media use to 30 minutes or less per day were significantly less lonely and depressed than people who didn't do a detox. And it took only 3 weeks to see effects. Second, engage more in your offline world. Call over a friend. Give them a 20-second hug and go for a walk in the park. And don't do it just because you want to put an end to your own loneliness. Do it because you know you're not the only one who feels this way. What I'm proposing is that you smash your hand through the glass of the snow globe. Reach out to your friend. Call your grandmother. Stop that weary stranger in the airport and smile. Offer a kind word or simply say to them, "I see you." And if that weary stranger happens to be me, I'll probably collapse into your arms and cry. But in that one shining, beautiful moment, I'll remember that we are all connected and I am not alone. Thank you.